What time do you want to be up there on Sunday? I mean, it opens at 3.
Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Jonesboro Rotary.
I get you with you.
Glad to have you here today. I'm going to ask Josh to do our invocation, please.
Okay. Open our eyes that we may see, open our ears that we may hear, touch our hearts that we may love, clear our minds that we may think, strengthen our hands that we may work. Amen.
Before we get started, I've got a quick story I need to tell you guys. You remember a month ago during my inauguration for the installation here, Tony and Kinsey were here.
Yeah.
And so we left that night and had dinner with some people, and Kinsey said, "You know that my papa's the president."
Oh, yeah.
So last week, Justin, Sarah, Kinsey, and Lexi went to a wedding in New York, and as they were coming back, they were riding through Washington D.C. Justin said, "Kinsey, you know this is where the president lives," and she said, "I thought Pop was the president."
We'll vote for you. I can do
Absolutely.
And I'll be the third candidate.
I'll vote for you twice.
And I also told her that I won Wimbledon twice and the U.S. Open 3 times. So anyway,
They'll write your name on the ballot.
there you go. Please.
Yeah, there you go.
Couple of notes. We've got the RI president in town starting Sunday and Monday. It was going to be in the district. He'll be doing some projects up in the Winston-Salem, Greensboro area. Jim and Larry and I will see him Sunday at the baseball game. Maybe still a few tickets left if you decide to ride up and watch. We're looking forward to that. The 18th, district governor's coming. Do a little food drive that day. We got a board meeting right after this today. Does Van have a mouthful of food? That's what I thought. Plan it that way.
Okay, today we have, no gas. Oh, yes, we did. Wait a minute. Whoa, what am I saying? We have a very, very distinguished guest from the Sanford Club, and that's Daniel Simmons. Let's give Daniel a big round of applause. Let's also recognize Daniel for getting the Rising Star Award from the district governor for in the Sanford Rotary Club. It's a very distinguished honor that they just started doing. So Daniel got the Rising Star, and guess who got the
Shining Star.
Shining Star? My brother.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, what? He's
You
like,
know, brags are worth at least $1, maybe 5.
oh shit, I ain't getting from my brother. I'm stopping right there. Okay, Daniel, thanks for coming today to visit with us. And Larry, you got an announcement.
Yeah. David's already talked about on the 18th, the district governor's coming, and I mentioned last week that one of the things that we're doing for our brush project, which is Rotarians United to Stop Hunger, is to start the backpack panel process and packing at 9 o'clock on the 18th, just before the governor comes to visit us at 11 and 12 o'clock. So COC said packing, really we can't do it with more than 15 people. So I'm going to pass this around. Keep signing up, because what they also need to do is there's a lot of food coming in for the kids for the packs that needs to be sorted and put on shelves. So if we get more than 15, and it can be Rotarians and spouses and friends and guests, if we get more than 15, we'll probably be packing shelves. The Sanford Club, as I understand it, will be coming in the following week to help COC get ready for the school year. So our club's packing 300 packs. Sanford Club is going to pack 300 packs, and we'll be ready to distribute, or CUOC will be ready to distribute starting the 1st of September. So let me pass this around, and please sign up. Keep signing up, even if it passes 15 on the roster. We'll have work for you, I'm sure. Thank you.
Larry, thank you so much. Any other announcements come for the club this time? Yes, Mr. Matthews.
I had a friend come to me. He said, "You're in Rotary, aren't you?" Yeah. You want to join?
Yeah, right. Go right, Matt.
He said no.
Oh, come on.
He said, "But I have a young lady staying with me who needs a job. She's come down from New York. She's done a variety of things. She's got a GED. She left home at 17, all the rest of that jazz. Some of that's here. But if any of you captains of industry know of some position she might be able to take, particularly if it was shift work, so she could go to a community college, that'd be good. Get a hold of me and I'll give you one of these things." Appreciate it.
Matt, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Daniel.
Want to let you know that Chick-fil-A on August 11th through 13th is doing a backpack drive for the Boys and Girls Club, and it does not require you to bring a backpack. All you have to do is eat at Chick-fil-A on one of those days, and then tell the cashier that you want a portion of your sale to go to the Boys and Girls Club. And Kelly Arnold, who's the franchise operator there, is going to take all those proceeds, and she's planning to buy a backpack that is stuffed full of supplies for every Boys and Girls Club kid that is enrolled this fall. So we're talking about 350 to 400 stuffed backpacks. So again, August 11th through 13th, all you have to do is eat at Chick-fil-A, And tell your cashier that you want the proceeds to go to the club, and we appreciate your support. Thanks.
Thank you, Daniel. We have had Kelly at the club before. She's quite an individual. We'd love to have her join the club at some time, but she seems to be pretty busy right around now. So,
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Okay, Jim Miller. Yes, sir.
I've been harassing, what's it?
Asking. Asking.
I've been harassing other Rotary clubs, and I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks, so the bucket will not bother you for 2 weeks. We have $26.50 in the pot already. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Any other announcements?
Ben, I should mention, I stopped over at Edwards for the Edwards Mentors. I stopped over to see our new principal, Natalie Putman, who's coming in from San Lee as the assistant principal over there. She's great. It turns out, I also had a chance to see Christine Womble, who drove up as I was going out, and it turns out that Christine and Natalie grew up together. So they're real buds, and so it's going to be an easy transition for us over at Edwards. And I think that there's an awful lot of energy that Natalie is bringing, just the same kind of person that Christina is. What they have right now for those that have been mentors, there's only going to be 5 classes as it stands now, but they're continuing to enroll, so it may go to 6 like we had last year. But and are you going over next? Or no, she's coming here. Natalie's coming here
I
next.
think she is, yeah.
Yeah, Chris DeLambert's going to bring Natalie, I think, to Rotary next week.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Any other announcements coming for the club at this time? They've got something going on over at the Depot Park tonight. It's Shakespeare or something, so.
Shakespeare in the Park.
Shakespeare in the Park. Yeah, there you go. Yvonne, yeah, thank you for correcting on it. Yeah. 8 o'clock, I believe. Is that correct? 8 o'clock? So be there or be square. If it's not raining or too hot, please show up at the Depot Park for a fun-filled evening of excitement and entertainment. Free. Okay, anybody got any brags today? No?
I do one.
All right, Terry. Way to go, brother. Yeah.
I had to come down
Here, let me put the camera on you.
Come on up, come on up. So I can get about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
About 15 minutes of fortune and fame on my own video. Well, I got an opportunity to video what is a soul installation at the Temple Theater. Both nights were sold out. The video came out real good. I'm gonna put it on YouTube. I got an opportunity to interview the 2 famous stars, so it was like really cool stuff. I really enjoyed it, so it's just something to brag about.
Actually, I have one too.
Yeah, Cammy.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
one. So my sister left town yesterday, but before she left this weekend, we actually went and drove down to Charleston and visited Fort Sumter. We took the ferry ride out to the fort, and we got to tour the entire fort. And for those that don't know, it's the birthplace of the Civil War. So the first shots were fired at Fort Sumter. So it was really interesting, really cool. We got a lot of cool pictures, and it was a cool place to be at. So that's what I brought.
That's it. That is a
Yeah,
brag.
it was really
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Anybody else? Everybody? Back to you, President David.
Thanks, man.
My pleasure. Appreciate that.
Today, we have a treat for you. And I'm going to introduce that treat right now. Janice, will you please get up and talk to us and share an idea what fun we're going to have today?
Well, you know, you learn lessons, and one of the lessons that you learn is that when you're in a meeting, be careful what you say. Because you might get a task. And if you happen to be an assistant / associate of someone who is unnamed, you're pretty sure to get a task. So today you don't have a program, we're having a work session. whoa, work. Yikes. You're gonna have to think. In fact, I texted somebody earlier and said, I'm fixing, good a Southern girl that I am. I'm fixing to go to Rotary to see if I can get a whole bunch of people who don't much wanna think, to think. You know, I look around this room and there are a whole lot of you whose jobs depend on volunteers. Right? Or who are volunteers now. And we know that it's a whole lot, well, let me speak for myself. It's a whole lot easier for me to be a boss, which I was for a lot of years, than to be somebody like a chairman of the board where you're trying to navigate volunteers. This is a volunteer organization. And that means different things to different people in terms of what our accountability and responsibility is to the organization we joined, and also to one another. And it's really easy as a volunteer, because that's what we all are in this scenario, to be passive and to let the president, the vice president, the past president, the people with big mouths, you know, do whatever. Now, now this is all about membership and growing our club. That's what every bit of this is about. And August is the month, right? And we know that recently we've lost some folks. They moved, whatever. And in order to be able to sustain ourselves and not have a few people just killing themselves doing the good works that we do, we gotta grow the club. Now, each of you either are in business or you have been. You know about recruiting. You recruit for the hospital. You recruit for your practice. You recruit for your business. You have done this. We know how to do it. We just aren't doing it quite as good as we possibly could. So today is a day that we're going to, and it's old school. There's no PowerPoint, God forbid. There's no anything except a little bit of chart paper and the marker color of your choice. Alright, this is really old school. Alright, we're not gonna well, I might post outcomes just because I'm driven that way. You know, but we're not gonna have rules and regulations. You all know the drill. You've done it 1,000 times. Everybody participates, nobody dominates. I'm not worried about the nominating part, except maybe in one or two of your instances. But I am worried about the everybody, and I'm not naming anybody. I am worried about everybody participating. Right? I used to work with schools that had teams, and our favorite slogan was, the power of the pack is the wolf, and the power of the wolf is the pack. This has nothing to do with the wolf pack. Except that, think about that. We are only as strong as each individual. And each individual is really, in this scenario, only as strong as our group. So this is this, we got to step up, dudes. This is what this is all about. So, I asked them to come back in and clear plates. They don't usually do that, so that's why they've been in there. They didn't want to do it, but you know, chart paper and plates don't work. So let me tell you what we're going to do today, and we're going to do it fast. We are not making sausage. We are not the General Assembly. We are going to do this fast, right? Because you know what to do. I'm an old high school teacher, so if you can't read my writing, that's pretty par for the course. I want you to do, we're going to have 3 outcomes. I want you to each personally address how you see your responsibility as an individual, the wolf, to grow in this club. If I go back and look at the members that have come to this club over the last year, I bet you, and we charted it out, which I have no intentions of doing, it's going to be a few people. The 80-20 rule is going to apply. 20% of you did 80% of the work. That's just the way it works. I guarantee you. Talk about statistics, John. I bet you that's the case, right? Oh God, it's scripted too. Then I want you to divide up into 4 groups, right? So nobody wouldn't want anybody to feel bad about that kind of thing. So you kind of divide your table in half. That's a group. John, you got a group? Great. Doug, you guys got a group right here? Y'all got your group right here now, right? And you guys, and you can go whichever way you want to go, since maybe that way since there are fewer. Okay? And in your group, before we're done, and on chart paper captured, 1 for accountability and 2 just so we'll have a record. I got to give Larry something. Right? Give us 3 recruiting strategies. What are 3 strategies for getting more people in your business, in your church, in your clubs? How do you recruit people that are thinkers and doers and carers? Because that's who we are. I know 1 minute. And then I want each group to generate out of your group 5 names of potential. And we actually, thanks to Larry, have forms. May not be ready to do those, but come on, dig deep. Your neighbors, your colleagues, your, whoever. I mean, that are good potential men. We don't want just anybody, to be sure. But let's get a pool of folks that we can begin to work from. And it's not just 1 or 2 of us, and I can't say us, that's not us, because I hadn't done it either, of you that have come up with these names. Right? And let's grab these good people before they do. Right? Because we're all strong together. Now, questions or comments? Yes, sir.
No.
Did I answer it? Oh, well, there you go. Wasn't that magic? Anybody else? Can we do this? Can in 20 minutes we do this? Well then, have a marker and pass it on. Pick the color of your choice. Got it, Roxanne? Yes. A couple sheets of paper. As long as it's not giving you a couple pieces of paper, you just bleed through.
Nash is on the board here.
So somebody, you guys know the drill.
I think about 50 of them down here.
Somebody's gonna have to write. It doesn't have to be the girls. That's what usually happens. It's usually the women that get to write.
You don't want to lie, right?
You don't want Well, we definitely need more women. No question about that.
Oh, 4 groups, that's right. I was thinking. So we got
I didn't assign leadership. It will blah blah blah. If that's too big, fold it. Make it work.
Uh-oh, Terry's got something already.
Either that or switch. Raise your right hand, you're now Jonesboro.
Might be a better idea. Yeah, I think I will.
Let me get this from you.
You bet.
I'll take them Friday.
There's lots of paper, sir.
Can they be felons?
I'm sorry?
Can they be felons?
Can they be felons? Just ignore
That's
it.
not me, that's up to the Rotary International.
I got a whole jail full of them.
All right, Terry, what's your idea?
My idea is to get 5
YouTube video.
If you want, yeah, you can write on the walls, whatever. Makes sense. Folks, make sure it doesn't bleed through. If you need more paper, let's make sure it doesn't bleed through.
what I'm reading in the video,
Right.
and they can just watch it for 2 minutes and they can talk for a whole.
Well, hopefully we don't tell them that up front. Yeah.
So John, check and make sure it bleeds.
I will. Yeah, that's good.
Listen, Larry, use his thing. How about that, Larry? Yeah. Whatever Larry says.
All right, so I think Terry's effort on that would be to spur an interest in the club with the content, the speakers, the fellowship, right? To get them interested.
Yeah, because that's like a training that they don't have to, well, honestly, I would rather them physically be here because of this. But I understand the teaser is to get them to watch the video and say, wow, that looks like fun. That's what we hope that they'll do.
And then on top of that,
You know?
the main thing, if the joint Rotary Club,
No, thank you for doing that. I'm sorry.
if the joint Rotary Club, it's still got an option.
You want some help? Get present.
It's still got option of being counted, which is a good thing.
Yeah, you might irritate them with that to repaint the walls, you know?
Howard, you have something?
Oh, I was gonna say, one of the things I think about, and it doesn't happen, is that I don't really intersect groups that I think would probably be typical candidates for the club, but when I think about it, I always think about, well, how would I describe it as far as,
You know, continually think about when you meet somebody new inside
if I was gonna walk up to somebody and say, have you ever thought about Rotary? So, well, what's Rotary?
And I'm not trying, I'm
I
not
guess
trying.
The elevator speech.
Yeah, the elevator
The
speech.
example
being, well,
was, Don and I and the new guy in the neighborhood went to Charlotte this weekend to a Clippers game to see the new Charlotte Stadium. And so I've put the plug in his ear that I'm not involved with this. You know, he's a photographer.
We all get
That's
those
his
Rotarian
retired.
We know he's been working on eradicating poaching. Maybe our neighbors don't know people who
Gotta consider doing Rotary. So I'm working on him. As a result of
And I
that,
know I do mine, because I can review through my business and deduct the cost, but I can't say off the top of my head what I spend.
Oh, I still don't know.
Yeah, I know I pay a.
I just pay it quarterly.
You know, and I pay it annually just because I can do it one time and write it off this year. But I'd have to go back and look at it, so those are things that I would be stumbling at. In my experience is if you're approaching somebody to do something, and you can't answer half the questions,
What, your
you
turn.
get anywhere.
Well, some of the things that me and Howard talked about is executive development.
Because I've been reviewing these, did I correct you?
Executive need to actually our president.
excuse me, Terry.
I felt is that most everybody that joins Rotary comes from.
I was just telling you,
And then
there's
hopefully,
some basic questions in there, first we ask questions, and I went,
Where you
oops.
been?
Tag.
And
I didn't know
I would say, oh, I like those ones.
Rotary seemed to
I love to support them as well.
talk
So
to
as it is around the way.
Well, and we probably
But
all
you
read
need
it.
to.
When Jay was president, there was a very
I mean, it's hard to mark, you are the first three people involved.
If we're really gonna talk about what is our
Well, see, I'm less interested,
We're focusing on.
I'm less interested in those sorts of details of things.
His face, he turns so quickly when he says it.
What is this?
Yeah. It is, honestly, it is. See right
And they're gonna know something about it.
So it's gotta be, it's gotta be looking at it, it's gotta add to every conversation. If I talk to him
Okay, there's.
about that, it's kinda like.
Should I add anything or are we good with
You'll get more than
In today's society,
Not only the history, but.
I know I don't have to harp on you about it, and you know it.
So Rotary in general,
Shane's got it.
Because people.
That's not a bad idea. Well, that may be a stretch.
These are great.
Spread this around.
That kind of thing.
You've seen this? I've seen it a while back.
Well, we just did.
We do this, we do this, and I might
Maybe that-
also tell them that we've been challenged.
You know, a long time ago, I guess I was president 12 years ago.
And we met the challenge.
Boston Business Card that said, coming to lunch on Thursday, have a Rotary wheel on it.
And they
I think they, I actually printed up in the days, but it was a business card size thing, so it was as easy as carrying it in my pocket. And giving it somebody, and it was a reminder that when they get back home, and they put their keys in the wall, and they were also on the table, oh, that's right. I met that guy, John, and he's a Rotarian. Hopefully they'll take you up on it, because it's kind of Saturday at work. Obviously, they don't pay when they come here, there's our guest. It's an incentive to say, please come. Which, but then, by then, we should also have our elevator speech down, so that we
All right,
can
I'm gonna
consistently
give you
deliver
a time check.
you know?
Let's move on. If you get your strategies up there pretty quickly, if you would, because we want some names, and you gotta have some time, and we don't have a lot of time, because we also wanna hear from
So
you.
anyways,
The other thing that I would say, the follow-up, that a lot of people don't
We're not
do.
making sausage, let's get it done. We can do it.
In any sales organization we've been in, the mistake most people make is they don't do a follow-up.
oh yeah.
If I ask somebody
You
on
might wanna
Wednesday,
clarify.
are you busy tomorrow? Yeah, well, how about next Thursday?
brochures?
Join me for every lunch. You have 3 lunch coming visit. And if you don't call them the following Wednesday, the day before, you got less than 50% chance.
Yes,
So you have to put on your calendar to.
that's exactly correct.
Well, in Howard, and I used to serve on another board together. I'm guilty of emailing, which is probably 50% less effective than a phone call, which might be 50% less effective than in person.
The easiest,
This stuff.
the easiest thing for me to say no to is something in the mail or an email.
I know.
If somebody calls me on the phone,
Totally agree.
gets in front of me and asks me, it's twice as hard to say that.
You better believe it.
Actually being in front of the
And
person.
that's a good strategy, is to have
It is.
those.
That is the best way.
But if you've already talked to them face to face, you
So
follow
they have
call
something
Wednesday,
to
confirm
feel.
with phone calls,
I need-
email.
Phone call's fine, I think, at that point, because you've done the initial in person.
But an email saying, yeah, I kind of promised, but I just don't.
Yeah,
think
you
so."
can pretend you can
Oh,
ignore
yeah, I
it.
didn't see the email.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly right. Oh, must have went to my spam filter.
I want you to see John's email.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we got YouTube video, elevator speech, recipient of donations cheat card, follow up on prospects. You can see I put an exclamation point on that. Janice said this, and Howard said this too. This is just sales training 101. This is stuff that you'll get when you learn how to increase your business and all that kind of stuff. But we're trying to increase our membership here, which will strengthen the club. So it's really drawn from the same origins.
That's just it, on your elevator speech, I'm seeing what you, a little brochure.
Hey, so we just reconfigured our trifold brochure on good stock paper, full color. It's a really good looking piece. So we've already got that, and we, meaning Hope Club, not just us, should pass that out more and should make sure that the membership has that. In other words, they can pass that out.
A lot of us picked up one.
Well, put it
I mean, I think brevity is a really good thing, because if you give me too much information, like lost things, I kind of haze over, and I don't read front and back legal size. I'll read 2 paragraphs letter size if the font's big enough. Not being funny either. It's just when you got so much information coming at you at once, if you keep it to 2 or 3 or 4 bullet points, you got a better chance of me reading it. If I get really, really long emails, I just get tired and I say, I don't want that.
Exactly. You know, there's a study done,
You know?
probably 40, 50 years ago, and it's never changed, that people remember about 40% of what they read.
Yeah.
They remember less of what they read.
Well, that's when you start selling.
You put those numbers in there.
Howard, that's when you start selling the experience. The experience might not be 16 charities that we contributed to in fiscal year such and such. It might be,
kind of an outreach.
I don't know, what
Here are some of the top-
VW or Nabisco or something says. It's awesome, it's fun, it's professional development and growth, and you'll get to network. Actually, I just said that because that's I'm a small business, but that's kind of sort of the primary reasons why I'm doing it. Almost in that order too. I don't know that networking is number 1. I think I said it's 4. But that was 4 things that if someone says, yeah, you know what, well, Nash, I'm new to town, and Nash might need to meet more people. And so her decision making would be, yeah, I need to spread myself around a little bit and get to know people. And that's what Rotary started for.
So how we doing? Okay.
It wasn't supposed to be just lawyers and accountants.
Listen, can I have just a check here? How many of you have some strategies? Do you have your strategies identified?
Yes.
Got your strategies identified. How about names?
We're writing names.
Still working on names?
We're writing names, yeah.
All right, let's work on names. Now we got 5 minutes to come up with 5 names. Do
Got
it.
anybody?
Okay, I propose we call on John Maxwell. Jim Brown.
There's supposed to be people we can get.
Okay, we're supposed to be doing names now.
How about Danny Reagan?
Um,
Riggs, Furniture.
Even though we're kidding around, John Maxwell's the new CEO of the hospital, which makes sense. And we had, Doug Doris is obviously here. We talked about David Loving and the
Members, but hardly ever make it.
No, I don't even know that he's been here. Well, he's been here, he was here for a program. He was here for a program, yes.
He actually does pretty good. Rotary is
Should we make that many?
And they show up, but they show up.
Steve Brewer, former member. I'd like to talk to you about Rotary. Don't walk down there. They're gonna, we actually put, we opened it up. Go online. So that we didn't have any bleeding. We actually looked at it really, really hard. Somebody needs it done. Who wants to get it down?
You've been through the
fire, you know.
Hey, Janice, we've got to take the stickies down.
We're named Shire.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. He's not a prospect.
Neither are we.
Well, we are, because our meeting's almost over. Perfect timing.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Someone probably have
Too busy.
What's that? Yes.
Guess who's coming to dinner? Remember those meetings? Guess who's coming out? They're coming to lunch.
Think about businesses you walk into.
I'd say 90% of my clients have some, like the community college, we have lotteries, with the government, we have jobs.
Your retirees are.
shows up.
They are because of the volunteers.
If they were active in their working life, they should remember a little bit of a voice still, continue to be interested in doing something.
I just thinking about asking them. That's why I
Trace Kent Harden, H-A-R-D-E-N.
Yeah, if you think about it, though, I mean.
Because it's just that what I haven't been able to get to is that point of I'm benefiting them.
Okay, we're off the wall.
We're off the wall.
Off the wall. All right, let's just summarize. Let's just summarize. We're not going to have a lot of time to process, but you had some good thinking. See, now the thing about this is, I mean, the sub goal is for everybody to recognize that we all own this, right? Just because you dodged being an officer does not mean you're off the hook for this. We know how it works. I mean, we've all been in organizations like this. And organizations make it really easy to be passive members, right? We've been on boards, that's the case. We've been in clubs, that's the place. I mean, that's what the back row of the church is for, right? A passive member. Only a club like this doesn't thrive that way. So this is just the rallying cry for each and every person. And when I look at the brain power in this room and for it not to be used on a regular basis, we're just selling ourselves short, in my opinion. So that's what this is about, in addition to collecting some data. And let's just have just sort of shout outs because we don't have much time, and I'm big on starting on time and ending on time. So Strategies, who has a strategy or two they want to share?
We do.
Okay,
Go ahead, Josh.
go ahead, Josh.
Thank you, Larry.
You see what I mean?
Boys of pain.
So some of the things that we talked about was former Rotarian gatherings, those that have come into the area, retired in this area, they've been in Rotary in other states, to have some type of gathering that would reach out to those that would be more
Okay,
compelled
as
to
a
come.
strategy of a gathering to bring home funds, good idea.
The other thing is we have a lot of things like small business expos, healthcare expos. It'd be nice for the Rotarian or the Rotary group to have a booth there, not only to share what we do and how it is part of the healthcare and other small business expos, networking. The other thing is it also has members here that the Rotary can then pinpoint those people to talk to in case they're experiencing something that someone can advocate for. Incentives program, we didn't go much in depth on that, but possibly incentives program. We have the four-way test and everything, but we talked about the brochures and having more of an invitation type card. That would be nice if you can quick pull out of your wallet and say, hey, I'll see you there on Thursday. Definitely focusing on females and other nationalities that we haven't focused on as much before. And then setting clear objectives and then reviewing them on a monthly/quarterly basis so that we don't lose sight. And then we said, of course, share the brochure.
Awesome, good. Who wants to add to that? Anybody want to add to these? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I just thought of that goes along with Josh, we thought that we needed to have some sort of a marketing plan. But if we have a marketing plan, if we go to these expos or that, but also how about, we've got some of the people here, we're not all retired like me. I don't have a place to do this, but maybe Zach could put little brochures at the Y, David Spivey, Van could do it at All Digital, David could do it at Jonesboro. Just having a brochure at a place of business where some people may say, well, what's this about?
Okay, so outreach
I
in terms of
really think
individual
that
places of business.
it's a marketing, it's something that we really haven't done too much, and it's a marketing ploy. But I like to go into some of these expos and just having a couple, setting up a table and having the Rotary Club banner and the four-way test
Okay,
and
good.
people there.
Got one here. Want to share this one?
Oh.
She wants you to share this one?
Focusing on 30 and below.
Yeah, that goes
So you-
along with
Being proactive.
We talked about gender and diversity, and also that's age diversity as well. And I'm making progress on that, and that's a tough one. That's a tough one too. How about you guys back here? Would y'all have some things?
I'll give you a rundown. We did get 5 friends to watch the YouTube video. That was hopefully an entry where,
great.
well, we were thinking, this is the man behind the camera thought of that. We were thinking it might be a great entry to, wow, that looks awesome, that looks like fun, I recognize a few faces in there. Maybe we could get them from watching a computer screen to live and in person on a Thursday lunch.
Hey,
Develop.
John, before I forget,
Yeah.
when we submit our weekly thing to the paper, just put a link in there to it.
Actually, I've started doing that. I've gotten pretty good at putting them in the bulletin. I don't know if on Sunday it gets in there too.
Just saying a link in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
great
right.
idea.
Yep.
Good.
Develop and memorize an elevator speech and have a consistent elevator speech. And sure, this is from sales training, but I mean, Howard personalized it and said, if someone asks me about Rotary, I don't know that I've got one consistent thing that I say. I just kind of sort of ramble through a couple of the great things that we do, but I can't tell you all the charitable organizations that we contribute to, and I can't tell you all the well, actually, that was in there too, Doug. Yeah, we'd actually wanted to partner with using the trifold brochure. Develop a card with recipients of the donations. You can have a cheat card where our priorities are with Christian United Outreach and with Meals on Wheels and with Breadbasket and with Highway to Healing and all that. Follow up on prospects. Follow up on prospects, preferably have the first contact face-to-face in person. Secondly, you can probably do it on the telephone. Don't do it on email because it's so easy to ignore an email, but the personal thing and the being in front of people, it's harder for that person to say no to you with an invitation to come see a Rotary. And then, yeah, Doug, we talked about using the new brochure. We developed the new brochure. A lot of work was done on that full-color trifold brochure. And I've got one, it's either in my office or it's in my car, which means it's lost. So we just need to use that, and we need to get it in front of more people.
Great, great. Very quickly.
As a group of prospective members, consider the folks you sell tickets to. They're already familiar with your organization because they've written checks to your organization. So think about them. Also, we were talking about Carolina Trace as being a huge pool of talent, prospective members, how we maybe targeted that message down at Trace, trying to attract, some of the folks down there with talents and the ability to join up.
All right. Yes, sir.
We had meetings there when we didn't have a place to meet, but we didn't really invite anybody. Physicians and those people come in and they run an education type program and they provide some food. We're supposed to provide food for our guests. There's no reason if you wanted to run one at Trace and just talk about Rotary to tell them we're going to give them food, because that gets them in the room.
These are great ideas, and I am hoping we're not going to go through your list of names. Now, one last thing as we go. You had an individual, what's your responsibility to think about. So now, give yourself a grade mentally. We don't need to know. In terms of your taking this seriously, in terms of you being, without being too hokey, proud of how you have served your fellow Rotarians in this room. In other words, how engaged were you? Because if all you did was sit on your hands, then you need to think about your own commitment. Right? I've gone to preaching and I apologize. But seriously, right now, mentally give yourself a grade. 1 to 5, with 5 being you just couldn't have done any better.
Is there a curve?
There is not a curve. If you're a 1 or a 2, I'm going to take you out back. Smack you around, right? Folks, this is important. This is not just about what we do today, not just about what we do tomorrow, but it's what this club looks like in 10 years, in 5 years, right? Take it seriously, because every person in this room matters.
Yes, sir. We talked about it, and I'm not one that practices it or preaches it or whatever. But, wear your pin daily with pride. You got it on your lapel and somebody's like looking at it going, hey, well, what's that? I mean, really, it intrigues people. What is that special thing you got on today? And if you can do it daily, which we've had people in this club that were like Mr. Rotary or whatever, and believe me, they wore their pin every day on every outfit they ever wore. So, that's something you can, and wear it with pride.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. For the raffle today, we got $80. Winner gets 40. Big pot today. The winner is 0249.
Nope, right here. Woo! It's Ron. It's not me. And he said that if he wins, to put it back to the pot.
Yay!
$40 for only a plus. It's $80.
All right. Janice, thank you again for that. It was a fabulous meeting. Jeff, while you're up, you want to lead us before this? Before we get out of here? Except for the board meeting next?
4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be sure you leave your sheets.
we have the best